Have you ever noticed this? That you became more confident, you started setting healthier boundaries for yourself, you started asking for more, you started dreaming bigger, and suddenly people around you started acting differently. Now they seem distant, critical, uncomfortable, less supportive than before. And part of you starts wondering now, am I changing too much? Have I become very selfish? Has success gone into my head? Am I not the same person anymore? Am I very greedy now? Now, what if I told you that the problem is not your growth? What if your growth is simply challenging the version of you that other people were very comfortable with, the version of you other people were actually used to? Today, let's talk about something many women experience, especially during their personal transformation. What happens when your growth threatens other people? Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Flight to Fulfillment podcast. I'm your host, Ratika Seth, your life enhancement coach and the founder of the Freedom Divas Hub. And today we are talking about a painful reality that many women encounter on their growth journey, because we often assume that everybody will be very happy for us, everybody will celebrate our growth, everybody will clap for us, everybody will support our healing, everybody will encourage our expansion. But sometimes actually opposite happens. The more confident you become, the more uncomfortable certain people will become. The stronger your boundaries become, the more resistance you receive. The more authentic you become, the more some relationships begin to shift. And here's what makes this even more difficult. You actually start questioning yourself, you start doubting yourself, you become judgmental about your own self. You wonder if you're doing something wrong, if you're the one who's changed, if you're the one who's become selfish, if you're the one who's become greedy. But often, what you're experiencing is not a problem with your growth, it's the reaction you're receiving, for it. Because your growth changes relationship dynamics. And not everyone is comfortable when the role you've always played begins to change. So, today, let's explore why growth can trigger discomfort in others and how you can continue evolving without abandoning yourself. Now, firstly, you stop being predictable. People become very comfortable with certain versions of us. Okay, so for example, if you've always been a people pleaser, the caretaker, the fixer, the one who always says yes, the one who's always available to help, happy to help all the time, the one who never asks for so much but only gives, gives, gives. And now suddenly, if you start changing, if you start saying, oh, no, this won't be possible today, or today I'm busy doing this, if you start setting boundaries, if you show people that, okay, no, you can't do something because you have something else lined up already, the expectations no longer match your behavior that has been there. And now this starts to feel very unsettling for them. Not because you're wrong, no, and even they don't think you're wrong, but suddenly they find you different. How come this person said no? She has never said no before. So now this starts becoming unsettling for them. Number two, your boundaries remove their access. One of the fastest ways to reveal unhealthy dynamics is to set a boundary, correct? So suddenly you're not available 24/7. You suddenly will not tolerate any disrespect, will not stay quiet if you don't agree with something, you will not overgive. So, people who have benefited from that version of you in the past, where they could walk all over you, where you heard them and they could say something and you never contradicted them, where you never said no, where you were always available for them 24/7, of course, they will start feeling strange and uncomfortable, correct? They'll start interpreting your self respect as rejection. So that will make them, feel strange and feel that you have changed. Number three, your growth reflects their stagnation. Now, this is a very difficult truth. Okay, it's absolutely true that sometimes your growth becomes a mirror for the others. Your courage highlights somebody else's fear. Your actions highlight somebody else's hesitation. Your healing highlights somebody else's wounds. Your success your success highlights somebody else's continuous efforts that have failed. So this can make people feel threatened instead of feeling inspired. This can make people feel jealous instead of feeling happy for you. Number four, they miss the version of you that made them comfortable. Now, many women hear things like, "Oh my God, you've really changed. You used to be so different. You've become too ambitious, yeah? You're not the same person anymore." And often they're right. Of course, you've changed. You're not the same person anymore. Of course, all of that is true. But it's true in the positive sense. Because growth requires change. Okay? So the question is, are they missing the real you? Or are they missing the version of you that was earlier convenient for them? That was earlier comfortable for them? That was earlier useful for them? The version that was easier to control, predict, depend on. Are they missing that version, or are they missing the person, the real you? Number five, growth forces relationships to evolve, correct? Every relationship is built on an existing dynamic. So when one person grows, the dynamic must adapt. So what happens is, if one person is growing sometimes, now depends on, how your relationship is. Like I said, it depends on the relationship dynamics. Some relationships can deepen. Some relationships can become healthier. Similarly, some relationships naturally drift apart. And while that can really feel painful because you never wanted to lose out on that relationship, it's a normal part of evolution. We outgrow people, we outgrow relationships, we outgrow friends, we outgrow things that don't serve us anymore. So if today's episode resonated with you, like, comment, share this with somebody who needs to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fly to Fulfillment podcast on either Substack or YouTube or Spotify or Apple, wherever you're more comfortable, so that you don't miss out on a single dose of inspiration coming your way. Until next time, this is me, Ratika Seth, your life enhancement coach, signing off for now. But before I go, I want you to remember this, that your growth is not a betrayal of anyone. You're not either betraying people, you're not being disloyal, you're not being selfish. Your boundaries are not cruelty, your confidence is not arrogance. Your expansion is not something you need to apologize for. Because people who truly love you may take time to adjust to this new version of you, but they will still love you and respect you for who you're becoming. They will love you for your growth. They will be happy for you. They will be happy for your growth. So you don't have to shrink. The right relationships grow with you automatically. They don't depend on your self-abandonment. So if your growth is making somebody feel uncomfortable, pause before assuming that you are the one to be blamed. Ask yourself, am I being difficult, or I'm just becoming, a version that does not suit the other person anymore? Because sometimes the discomfort you're witnessing is not evidence that you are off track. It is evidence that you are no longer living from the version that existed to make everybody else comfortable. And that is where real freedom begins for you. So, well, if conversations like these, make a difference, if conversations like these speak to your heart, I invite you to come and join our community, the Freedom Divas Hub, where women come together to build self-worth, emotional freedom, and lives rooted in authenticity and conscious growth. Until next time, this is me, Ratika Seth, your life enhancement coach, signing off, but asking you to keep growing, keep evolving, and remember you were not born to stay small. You were not. You were meant to fly always. Love you all. Bye bye.